Welcome to First Look. It's supposed to be press day coverage, Jason Weigandt and Racer X, but no one is riding today because, shocker, it rained in Seattle. Now the good news is the forecast says it probably won't rain tomorrow. And I talked to the legendary Ezra Lusk, who works for the AMA, and he said the rain should stop by the time they pull the plastic off the track tomorrow, so it might not be that bad. Just the water that gets between the plastic might be all they're dealing with racing-wise. As for today, it's a wash. We don't really have many people to talk to. I grabbed Jordon Smith and Benny Bloss. You'll hear from them in a minute. Shout out to our sponsor, that's 60 Helmets. This is an actual Max Volan 60 helmet, the patented Omni-Directional Suspension system inside the helmet. Provides safety unsurpassed by any other helmet design. Committed to relentless brain protection. 60 and backing our show. We'll show you everything we can from a washed out press day and hear from some riders. Let's get to it. Jordon Smith, you're back. Did you plan the whole time that you could be back for this, or are you surprised?
Yeah, I kind of figured that, this was kind of the goal. I mean, originally my goal was to make it back for Indy, but I mean, I knew that was kind of far-fetched, but I'm like, well, if I do everything I can to make it back, and I can't race it, then at minimum I've done everything I can to get back as quick as possible anyway.
Yes.
So that was kind of my goal. So yeah, we really didn't do anything at all until other than I was doing cryotherapy, red light therapy, that kind of stuff, but nothing really like bicycle working out wise until after Indy. And so yeah, after that, the goal was here, and figured that it would be close, but it'd probably be attainable.
But there's like several more weeks off if you would skip this one.
Yeah.
So did that cross your mind at all? If I take just Seattle off, I'll get a whole nother month.
Yeah, well, it's actually only another weekend because the East-West shootout.
Oh, East-West.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I mean, really, it's kind of like the year that they add a bunch of East-West is like the year that I don't need them to, because probably Indy wouldn't have been one, and maybe, like later on it would have been, and I'd have been back for the first, I wouldn't have missed around, So, but yeah, it's the way our schedule is this year is like really broken up. It's like we had like 4 on, and then it's like 2 off, 1 on, 1 off, 1 on, 2 off. Like, it's just kind of crazy. So
going back to the crash, hate to make you relive that. Do you know what happened, or just whoops and things go wrong?
Yeah,
and you don't know why?
The Dallas whoops are kind of they're always slick, and I mean, I've crashed in them and got hurt before. So that's where I hurt my wrist at in 2019. So it's just those whoops, and then you can look back and try and figure out what went wrong, and there was yellow flags out on the right side of the track, so you couldn't really see the whoops coming down the straightaway before. So came out, there's yellow flags, so we kind of watched tape back. I went further left than I normally do, and the rider was down on the left side, even though they had the flags out on the right side. And you can kind of see, I start going back right a little bit, catch an edge. Is that the reason? I don't know, if that's the reason I crashed. I'm definitely not blaming it on that, but that could have influenced it a little bit, not hitting that. I was kind of hitting the further right side the whole time. So with those flags being there, and then the rider being down the left side, I was trying to avoid them, and it just stepped out quick. So, I mean, it's a racing incident, it sucks, and it's could it have been different if they were on the other side? I don't know, who knows, we'll never know.
So with the time you've had, do you think you've lost some fitness, or where do you think you're going to be once you're out there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I think riding, I feel good.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. I have a really good base, and especially just the last year of doing every race, and I haven't missed a day of training since I sprained my wrist in 23 outdoors. So I haven't missed 1 day of training until now, until this injury. So I have a really good base, so fitness I think should be fine, not a problem. I felt good on the bike this week. Obviously, you spend a little time off and come to a track like Seattle, and it's gonna be rutted. It may feel a little rusty, but we'll see.
Okay, Benny Bloss, you did it. Top 10 last week.
We did it.
What's that like?
It feels good.
Yeah.
We got 2 last year, 1 so far this year. I don't even know, there's 7 races left, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe, so 7 more would be pretty awesome.
Okay, that's what you're thinking.
I mean, that's my goal.
Yeah.
Right, I gotta have goals.
Yep.
No, I was really happy with it. Was the weed show good luck?
Maybe you got the weed show bump.
Maybe
you got the weed show bump.
We had another weekend of press day where I did
another
reviews,
show.
Only the weed show. So no, realistically, I'm pumped about it. Was very happy with it. I've never top 10'd, overall top 10 at a Triple Crown.
Yep.
So my theory on it, right? I'm on a roll. I only have, technically, you want to get technical, I only have 1 good finish, but really have 3.
Oh, last week.
Triple crown, right?
Yes. Well,
So,
yeah, you were, what were you, like 10, 11, 10 or something?
10, 10, 11.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. So multiple top 10s.
So in my head,
Yeah.
I'm on a roll. I've got a string of good races here.
All on one night.
I'm just trying to be positive.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Look,
my starts were better. So
you did mention something in the weed show last week. You had hurt your wrist, and you're like, I finally got to ride. So is there actually a reason you could point to that things are going in a positive direction?
Yeah, definitely. The practicing makes a huge difference.
Sure.
Because I mean, I think between Detroit and now, I guess I rode press day at Daytona, and honestly, I think that made it worse. Like, it kind of bothered my wrist a little more.
The next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We rode another press day, Arlington maybe. And so that's really my only practice. So we made some changes to the bike on the brake, helped with starts. Honestly, I love the way that it felt on the bike, on the track too.
Okay.
So I think that kind of added up to having a good weekend.
Now, last thing, I joked about this with you guys at Indy. The bike is good. The bike is fine. If anyone is wondering, the bike's fine.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's
like you said awesome. You just said awesome.
It's funny because last weekend, Oldenburg and I were talking. I don't know, like, we got like a bad, like, people thought the bike wasn't good last year. They thought the bike hasn't been good this year, and honestly, the bike has been awesome. Like, last year the bike was awesome. This year the bike is even better. Like, I absolutely love it. And Oldenburg and I were laughing last week after the main event. They were like, you know, the only problem with us like starting to do good is now other riders are going to be like, oh, the bike must be pretty good, right?
You're gonna be knocking on the door.
You know? Yeah.
You're gonna be knocking on the door.
We both want to re-sign, you know. So honestly, no, the bike is really good. So,
well, that says it all right there. You're putting your money where your mouth is. You just want to come back. You want to race it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. I got asked this week, you know, if I'd be interested in re-signing. It's like, if they gave me a contract right now, I'm signing it immediately. Like, I'm really, really happy here. I feel like I work well with the team. Like, the vibes fit good, especially this year. Me, Mitch, the whole team, like, everything is good. The vibes are good. Like, everyone works together really good. So, as far as places I've been, I've ridden for a lot of great people, but overall, you know, it's my favorite spot I've ever been. So,
favorite spot you've ever been? Wow. Name me one thing the bike's really good at to really drive home that the bike is good.
Corners. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. The bike's really good in the whoops. Really, probably corners. I'm really, really, really big fan of the corner.